What's up, y'all? The wait is over. We are finally here and live with Miss Arabia. Hey, girl.
It's just, it's only right. It's only right. I'm so glad we did
Yeah,
this.
the people asked. They got it. You got what you
The
wanted.
people
We are
demanded
here.
and we supplied.
Yeah, That's why you closed mouths don't get fed. So if y'all wouldn't have said anything, time would have went by, and we probably just not that we didn't want to. We just our lives are our lives. You know,
Yep.
it is what it is. But we're coming with to you to present to you the preview, the game of the week, America's game of the week. I don't care what NBC or Fox, whoever says it. This is America's game of the week: the Pittsburgh Steelers versus the Washington Commanders. And we had some action this week. We had some action this week too. See, she busy. She busy.
It's okay. It's fine. I'm
Yeah,
actually in their way, believe it or not. I'm in their
yeah,
space.
it's all good. I want to talk about the trade deadline. So you guys acquired
Okay.
someone special, hmm Mr.
Yes, we
Lattimore.
did. So we got Marshawn Lattimore, which
Hmm
our secondary is, I wouldn't say atrocious, but certainly our weaker group from all three phases of football, our offense, our defense, and our special teams. Our secondary definitely needs. So I'm very happy that someone came in. We gave up a 2025 third round and fourth round. We also gave back a sixth round pick from our trade with Hassan Ridgeway over the summer. So and then in return we got Lattimore and I think a seventh round pick or a fifth round pick. I think
Okay.
it was a fifth, another pick back. So as of right now, we have 7 picks left in the 2025 draft. So yeah, I'm happy to have him. We'll see what he has to offer this team. I'm excited to have him at CB1. See if we can get Mikey in the slot, or if they're going to put him outside. I know their plan for him long term is to put him in the slot,
hmm
but somewhere in that area too. But I'm excited. Hopefully, he helps our secondary because it's something that I'm definitely worried about.
Have you heard anything about like look? I know he had a hamstring injury, and I say hamstring injury because Adams had one, right?
Yep.
Is this something where yeah, the hamstring injury? He didn't practice yesterday. I don't know if he practiced today for you guys. I don't know if you know. Do you know or think
Yeah,
that he is going to be an impact this week?
Yeah, I've been seeing him in practice, and he's actually been giving like Benjamin St. Juice some pointers, and you can see that he's been kind of like giving some other guys in the secondary some pointers. I don't know if he's playing or not, but if he does,
Mhm.
we'll see if he makes an immediate impact or if he's still kind of warming up to whatever our system is with Joe Witt Jr. and Dan Quinn. Um, but yes, he's generally had some soft tissue injuries that they're, he's been sitting for a while. He's been playing injuries, but I don't know if they're soft tissue injuries, quote
Mhm.
unquote, and now he's fully
Yeah,
healthy. Devontae Adams, we're looking at you,
yeah,
or
we're
if he's
talking about you,
actually
boo.
legitimate. We're talking about you, just to be clear. But hopefully, I'll take this. I'll take
Yeah.
this and a fully
I
healthy
was like, I
Lattimore.
wonder if
But
it's
thank
one
you
of
for.
those. But again, he didn't practice yesterday, so I'm thinking maybe it's not one of those, and and it takes some time. It's not the same system as he's going had in New Orleans, so it takes some adjustment. But he's a pro. He's been around for a while. He's not a rookie. The Steelers
Yeah,
had
he's been
had
around for a while.
yeah, the Steelers picked up Mike Williams and Preston Smith from the Packers. So I do think Mike Williams will probably be in the game in some capacity. I don't know. They've been spreading the ball around a lot, but I'm happy to have that big body receiver. He can get separation. We've seen Mike Williams make the big plays. We've seen that all throughout his career. And we know Russell Wilson likes to throw that deep ball. So as they call it, the moon ball. So
The
that
moon
happens to
ball,
be great. We
exactly.
gave up a fifth rounder for him, and we gave up a seventh rounder for Preston Smith. Mike Williams had 10 receptions and 141 yards on the year over Green Bay, Lord, the Jets. We know how that kind of happened with all that situation with Aaron Rodgers over there, and so he's in a better place. He's in a better place. Less
I think
toxic
so too, and
environment.
I think he'll be with a quarterback under the bus if there's a post game conference and they ask what went wrong. Hopefully, I'm pretty sure he'll be with a quarterback who at least will be a leader on and off the field. and it will be in a better situation for sure.
Yeah, we don't. I mean, you don't do a whole lot of that over here, especially with Russ. Like he's definitely not going to do that. So you don't. That's the last quarterback you probably have to worry about that from. Preston, I wasn't
Yep,
familiar with
yep.
his work, but he has recorded 2.5 sacks this season and 19 tackles. He'll be in the weaponry of the outside linebackers with the pass rushers, the likes of T.J. Watts, Alex Highsmith, Nick Herbig. So he'll be getting in where he fits in there, being able to give some of those guys a breather, and we'll see how we use him. He's excited to be there and play in the system. So it's what it is. We
Awesome.
haven't played the Commanders in 4 years. 4 years,
Yes, in
so it's
four
been
years. Every once in a while, you'll get a matchup depending on your division, but we
yeah.
really haven't played since the last time that we played the AFC North. So last time that we did play was in 2020. At the time, the Steelers were 12-0, and it was in week 13. We handed you guys your first loss of the season. Of
Alex
course,
Smith,
we
huh?
didn't go on to do anything.
Right. That was that was the victory of the year right there. That was the victory of the year
Yeah,
right there.
yeah, and we did it in Pittsburgh
Yep.
because the last two times that we saw the Steelers at home in Washington, you guys have won our last two games
Mhm.
when you're at home. So definitely an interesting dynamic where we won the last time, but a better record recently with us at home. So with those two things in mind, it's interesting to see which one of those will break on Sunday.
Yeah. We didn't have a run game back then. So you know, things have changed significantly for both teams, in my opinion. Our record isn't the same, but I think just overall our teams are just better than they were even with an 11-0 record. So, and you guys are also
Absolutely.
significantly better with a 7-2 record, right? 7-2. You guys are
Seven and
seven and
two.
two.
Yep.
Let's get
Yep.
into that real quick. I want you to just speak. I think the numbers. So let me just we'll do it. We'll go by group. But I just want to talk about how similar. I don't think people are tracking about how kind of similar these teams are when it comes to the numbers. And I know people probably see the 40 plus point games that you guys have had. Yes, you've gotten in the end zone way more than the Steelers, but you guys have had 11 passing touchdowns, 15 rushing touchdowns, 2 interceptions, 18 sacks. Whereas the Pittsburgh Steelers offensively have had 8 passing touchdowns, 8 rushing touchdowns, 1 interception, and 21 sacks, allowed 21 sacks. So to me, I know it may not seem close, but they're not off. They're not far off.
Right.
They're not far off.
Yep.
And
Yeah.
so,
I completely agree. And
mhm,
it makes me just wonder about like the teams that we've played, saying like, oh, we haven't really played anybody, which is easy to say because at the time that we played them, they weren't great teams. But certainly, like you can see, the Cardinals have a shot at the NFC West. And at the end of the
mhm,
season, we could look back and be like, oh, well, they played the Cardinals who won their division. And same with the
right.
Bengals. At the time that we played the Bengals, team, but we could look at the end of the season and look back and be like, oh, well, the Bengals won the wild card in play. Like, you know what I'm saying? But
Yeah.
so, I'm wondering who you guys have played because for us, it's like I'm happy that we've been doing so well, and I'm happy that we've been running the score up and having this really well-oiled machine on offense. But I love this game against the Steelers because it gives me an idea of how good we really are. So with these numbers
Right.
in mind, like what do you feel about your opponents? Like, do you feel like you've had like formidable opponents and that you guys have been playing good teams?
I feel like it's any given Sunday. It is football. Like this isn't you're not playing against a minor league team. I don't care if the team is 0 and 15 or whatever. When they come across, like they want to beat you. That is the goal. So if you don't bring your A game for whatever reason, if for all 4 quarters, then you can get beat. I don't care who it is. And we've seen teams like no one really gives us credit for the wins that we had. We beat Atlanta. We didn't even get to score a touchdown on Atlanta. We beat them with all field goals. We beat the Broncos, but now everyone was singing their praises just last week before they got beat by the Ravens. Everyone was singing their defensive praises. We beat them. Nobody sung their praises after we beat them. We beat the Raiders. No one respected the Raiders, but the Raiders actually beat the Ravens, who everyone loved, right? And in their home
Yeah.
stadium. We we beat the Jets. No one respect. No one. Everybody picked the Jets to beat us, but everyone discredited the Steelers when they beat the Jets. Ain't that crazy? Oh, it's just the Jets.
One of
Like
those
they
things
suck. But
that's like
everyone picked them to
uh
win.
yeah, it's like the unfortunate thing about being generally a good team and a winning organization. When you do win and you are doing well, people are like, oh, you're supposed to. Like you don't get flowers for
Yeah.
what you're supposed to do, and people aren't like giving you commanders because the commanders in recent football history have been really, really bad. So when they are
Mm-hmm.
beating teams, whether they're good or bad, it's like, whoa, huge surprise. This team is on fire, da da da, which we are, but it's because the
Yeah.
expectation is like, it's the gap is huge between where we're performing and the expectation. And with the Steelers, it's like the expectation of performing well. It's kind of like,
It's
okay,
always,
well,
yeah.
yeah.
You got to win your 9+ games. You're the Pittsburgh Steelers. Like that's what it is. That's the expectation at a minimum. You got to be in the hunt or in the playoffs minimum. Towards
Yep.
the end of the season.
Yep.
So I get it. Get it. But offensively, like I said, they match up so good. Um, the Pittsburgh Steelers offense. It's week 10. They just came off a bye, but it's really only week 3 for Russell Wilson in this offense. So that is where my optimism comes in because only in the second game you saw the most not even wide receivers. You saw the most receivers, tight ends, running backs, wide receivers catch balls that you didn't see prior. And so you had maybe 3 to 4 guys active that didn't catch a ball. And so for me, that is amazing. That opens up your playbook. It gives you a little bit more film to watch, but you don't know what direction they're going in. And that also tells you have a veteran in there that can find a guy and get the ball to an open guy in Russell Wilson. So for me, our offense is I don't know. Like I'm so optimistic. It's so much more to be seen. And then you add a piece like Mike Williams. So I think our offense doesn't give its opponent a full look at what they're going to do yet because they're just getting started. So I'm
Yeah, I can
curious.
see that, and I can see how. Yeah, it's definitely beneficial to be able to spread that ball around and it's harder as a defense to plan for 3 guys or two in a possible versus over and over again. So definitely always opens up your playbook when you can go to more guys and spread the ball around. But for our offense, because the Steelers this season has tended to start the game slow and then pick up, I think the
Hmm.
key for our offense, one of the keys for our offense is to score early and try to get points on the board early, first quarter, second quarter. That first half, I think, is crucial because if the Steelers perform the way they have this season and they heat up on offense and defense in that second half of the game, which is what really good football teams do, they're able to perform really, really well.
Hmm.
You guys have had third quarter shutouts all season,
Yep.
scored against you
Oh,
in the third quarter all season. And in the fourth quarter, you guys score a lot of points and hold your opponents to a lot of points. So you guys actually have the best scoring defense as long as holding your opponents to points in the second half. So the Commanders have to score early and often so that if we do hit, we already got some wiggle room and we can work with what we got on that end.
yeah.
But I also am worried about as far as us on offense, my quarterback, because you guys do have, in my opinion, one of the best pass rushing groups in the NFL with and that guy Highsmith. Um, definitely makes me nervous. He already had like a rib injury, Jaden did. So whether it's him getting the ball out of his hands quickly or our O line performing well and really giving him that protection that he needs, or him checking it down if he needs to, or handing it off to a running back so we have our ground game. But I want to keep my quarterback healthy and to turn the ball over. We've been really, really good at
Yeah.
not turning the ball over. I think he only has 2 interceptions, and in general, our team only has 3 turnovers on the year. So just protecting that ball and not having your defensive line putting us in predicaments where now we have to turn over the ball because he's in a rush or getting my quarterback hurt. So, yeah, just score early, score often, and protect our quarterback. That's definitely what I would like, and get B Rob involved because now he's back in the game. He missed last game. Get that ground game going with him, Austin Eckler, Jeremy McNichols, and protect the ball.
So yeah, Austin. I think. Do you guys run a lot of screens to him? Because I see he's receiving, or he's involved in the passing game a lot. I see. So do
He
what?
is. He
Okay.
is. Yes,
So
he's definitely
I'm
involved in that
thinking
passing game for sure. He
screenplay might be a thing with you guys. I'm not sure. Just to,
yeah,
so
he
so
catches
Jaden
the
gets the ball out.
definitely have some receptions and some rushing as well. Yeah.
Yeah. So I have a question about your center. I saw him on the injury report. Um, and I don't know how that's going, what that's looking like. But I'm excited for that matchup against him and like a Cam Hayward, and we got some younger guys like a Keanu Benton. Jaden hasn't been sacked a ton. They've been protecting him, but of course he has to stay. And I think the Giants didn't even get to touch him. So that was great. So I'm curious to know what that matchup looks like and how you feel about his name's Tyler. What's his you know how to say his last name? I don't know how to say I don't want to mess
Biotish. Yeah, he's from the
Biotish. Okay.
Cowboys. He came over
Okay.
with Jowett Jr. and Dan Quinn, and one of the guys that he kind of slugged with him when we got Dan Quinn. But Tyler Biotish, I think is how you say
Hmm.
his last name. But it's him, Cornelius Lucas, and who's a left tackle, who's a rookie, Brandon Coleman out of TCU. Those three, I think, have been dealing with some injuries. I currently don't know what their situation is. I will have to look that up. But
Yeah.
I am concerned if they're out. I am concerned if they're out because that D line is nothing to play with. That D line is nothing to play with, and we're gonna
Yeah.
need people in there who can. I'm worried. I'm not gonna sit here and act like I'm not. Like
What is it?
I'm definitely worried, and we're gonna need all of the help that we can get. So I don't know if he's healthy. If he's not healthy, whoever's coming behind him, I hope that they can handle 4 quarters of that, particularly quarters 3 and 4 when it really gets
Yeah.
kind of hot in them trenches.
Yep. Especially, yeah, TJ, that defense in the Pittsburgh was even the third quarter. I mean, like you said, they haven't let a team score on them, and it's something like they come out of that locker room at halftime, and there's like a totally different group of men. I don't know who they are.
Yeah,
They went back there and drank that thing from Space Jam at halftime, and they come
yeah.
out in the third. They're like, what was the juice from Space Jam? They go drink it, and they come out
It
in the
was
third quarter,
like
and they're like the
special
freaking
stuff,
monster.
I think.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's what they do in the locker room at halftime. Like even last week, I mean the last game we played against the Giants, TJ Watt and Alex Highsmith had like back-to-back sacks, like immediately in the third quarter. And I was just like, where were those sacks in the first half? But I was happy they came when
yeah,
they came. Um,
yeah.
so we'll talk a little bit about the defense again some more. I started again, look at the I want to go back to the numbers here because 19 sacks for the Pittsburgh Steelers, 10 interceptions for the Pittsburgh Steelers for their defense. And hold on, there's one more. I don't have their forced fumble numbers, but I can get them. But for you guys, it's 24 sacks and 3 interceptions. But you have that's Bobby Wagner's. So you guys have 9 forced fumbles and 5 fumble recoveries. I know TJ Watt
Okay.
has. We just know off of the last game they played, TJ Watt has a forced fumble from a recovery. That's not this first one. This is not his last one. But from those numbers alone, you guys are getting pressure to quarterbacks on the defense. Um, the interception numbers aren't spectacular, but I like your forced
Yep.
fumble and your fumble recovery numbers. I like those two. So I feel bad because I don't have the Pittsburgh Steelers forced fumble numbers, but I'm gonna get them real quick because I want to be able to compare when we're talking about taking the ball away because I think taking the ball away is going to be critical in this
Yeah,
game.
I do too. And I think I really like our linebackers. I really like Frankie Louvu. I think he adds not just, a presence on the field, but also a leadership in the locker room. He has that really high motor, high energy. Wagner, he's a veteran. He adds a lot to the
Mm-hmm.
to that linebacker room. So I like them both. I would say for your defense, I have a ton of respect for Beanie Bishop and
Yeah.
Dante Jackson. Beanie Bishop
Mm-hmm.
being somebody who, I mean, he was an undrafted free agent, wasn't he? And he's
Yep.
like, statistically, his last year in college, he performed very well, but no one ended up picking him up. He was an
Mm-hmm.
undrafted free agent. He's smaller. He's very easy to overlook, no pun intended. But the
Yep.
Steelers took a chance on him, and he's been showing exactly why he is a valuable member of anybody's defense. But he has been performing really, really well. Vinny Bishop and Dante Jackson has just been absolutely amazing. I think at least top 5, in my opinion, up there with you know, what's his name? Kirby Joseph
Mhm.
and what's his name for the Lions?
Not Hutchinson, but because
I
Hutchinson
love
is
him. No.
um
I'm forgetting, but he's
okay.
absolutely amazing. But he's up there with some of my favorite secondary duos in the league. So definitely something that I'm looking out for. I hope Jaden continues to protect the
Branch. Are you
ball
talking about
because
Branch?
Brian Branch,
Branch,
Brian
yeah.
Branch, who started off as
Yeah.
a safety, who started
Hmm.
off the season, they moved him over to safety and has been doing a phenomenal job. But anyway, I really have a lot of respect for your secondary and the way that they've been performing this year. So I'm hoping it doesn't make us run into too many problems because I like our receivers. I love the connection that Terry and Jaden have been having over the
Hmm.
past 9 weeks, coming up on 10 weeks. I think they're just where you can see that trust building and really them finding their connection. De'Ami Brown, Noah Brown. I really like kind of our receivers, but seeing how they
Yeah.
go up against a really good secondary.
Yeah, you have two Browns over there. I know we were on defense, but McLaurin, Ertz is the tight end, Noah Brown, and is it you said Diami Brown? They
De'Ami,
getting
yeah.
Diami Brown. They're cooking over there. I like that. And McCaffrey. We can't forget about McCaffrey. Like I feel like when you forget about McCaffrey, you
Luke.
not forget about McCaffrey.
Yes,
So,
my
so
little
I
L.
looked up the numbers, and the crazy thing is they're the exact same. That's probably why I didn't write it down twice because they're the same. The Commanders and the Steelers have 9 forced fumbles and 5 fumble recoveries. So again, like scarily similar. We are we're winning the interception thing, and you guys are winning the stat game right now. But listen, it's
Yeah, they're
still
so
it's
close, and I'm
it's
hoping
still
that
too
this
close for
addition of
comfort.
Lattimore,
Hmm.
yeah, I'm hoping this addition with Lattimore will help us in that department because we don't
Yeah.
really get too many opportunities with the pick sixes and with the interceptions. So that's something that will he can. I mean, it would be really helpful if he can get us some of those, but we'll see. We'll see.
And you said something else. We talked about the wide receivers. You said something. Oh, about the Steelers defense that I liked. Of course, I love Bobby Wagner. He's leading your team in tackles, and he's just a vet. And he predicted you guys would win. Of course, that's what he's supposed to say. Um, but Deshaun Elliott is a guy that doesn't get a lot of credit, and he is the leader of this team in tackles with 58 right now, and he is doing just dirty work. Making the big hits, getting the stops, making those tight tackles, preventing those first downs. To me, being a relief for my favorite, Minka Fitzpatrick, who you don't necessarily hear a whole lot about right now, and that's okay. Like I'm okay as long as he can be that solid man on the field all season long. Let him do less work. Let him do less work to preserve him for the season. I'm good. But I like our defense, but on third and long, that's where I got a problem. Third and long, the Pittsburgh Steelers freak me out every single time. It's almost like a third and 30. Just go ahead and give it to them. Like I don't know. I don't know what they
No
be doing. I
problem.
have no idea. I am so afraid of third and long with this Pittsburgh Steelers defense. It shouldn't be like this. It shouldn't. I should be like third and 30. Oh, we off the field. Let's go. But for some reason,
Yeah.
they play so soft. They play so far off
Yeah.
that
Do you
they
think
get the
that's
first
a
down.
so what do you attribute to that? Do you feel like it's player execution or do you think it's play calling? What is it?
I want to say it's play calling. I really want to say it's play calling because I don't know. I really I don't know. I want to say it's play calling because they're doing as they're told. They're playing, they're playing the zone that they're told to play, and you know, maybe it's the wrong one. A lot of times it ain't the right
Yeah.
one, and so
Hopefully we don't hopefully we don't find ourselves in a third and long situation too. Then hopefully we can take advantage of that.
I didn't get the penalty numbers. How y'all doing? I feel like y'all having some trouble offensively on
I feel like we're
penalties.
decent.
You're doing
I
good.
feel like we're
Okay.
decent. Yeah, I think we're decent. I could be wrong, but I feel like we're decent. I don't really think I think we've been playing generally pretty goes, but if anybody out there
Let
in the
me see what I
universe
can find
could,
really quickly. Um,
yeah, yeah.
but if it sticks out here. But we've had touchdowns called back because of penalties, and it's sickening.
Hmm.
So we have had some situations where, I mean, like even the last game we played, George Pickens had a touchdown, and Roderick Jones had, I think, a face mask penalty or something like that. So it is just it's been up and down for us. We've had some good games, we had some horrific games with penalties. But I'll look here for a second to see if there's anything there. But the other
Okay,
group,
yeah, and I would say like
go ahead.
in a game like this where we, are playing a good team, we also need to be as disciplined as possible and not give anything that we don't have to give. Like I don't want to see a situation where we calls a touchdown back, or someone
Mhm.
has a really long run, or a 30-yard pass or something, and it gets called back because of penalties. So playing discipline for sure will be one of the things that we need to do in a game like this. I don't think we have too much wiggle room.
Yeah. I don't know why I can't find it, but I can Google it. But we have a question about running backs. Someone asked
Okay.
who has the better running game, and is that's the X factor to them. Do you think the running game is the X factor for this game, and who do you think has the better running back duo or room or team?
Definitely gonna say mine. I love my running backs. I love Brian Robinson Jr. and I love how different that he is from our RB2, Austin Eckler. They're two totally different types of running backs. They run differently, they bring different things to the table. And then even our RB3, Jeremy
Mhm.
McNichols came in when B Rob was out, and when Austin was able to have a lot of value in that room in the game. So I really love our running back room. And is it an X factor? I think the art running back room will always be an X factor when you have a rookie quarterback, because if it a game does come up where he's struggling, or if there is a really good secondary, whatever, we can always hit the ground. We can always protect the ball. We can always use that ground game to help our whatever is happening on our offense. So hopefully our offensive line will provide opportunities for our running backs, given you
Mhm.
guys' defensive line. But I really like my running back room, and it's
Let me see these rushing yards. Let me just look at them real quick.
and if I'm not
On
mistaken, we are the number 2 rushing team in the NFL behind the Ravens.
100, I mean, sorry, 1475 rushing yards, and you have 15 total rushing touchdowns. Got it.
Yeah.
That's awesome. That is some awesome numbers. If I look at the Pittsburgh Steelers here, they have only 8 rushing touchdowns. Like I said, they were 8 and 8, and then they have 1105 rushing yards on the season. I will say this week is only the only week, maybe this might be the only week that we have had all 3 of our running backs healthy. Okay, so Najee Harris has had 3 phenomenal weeks in a row, 100 rushing yard games. He is feeling himself. He is feeling something.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
Jalen Warren hasn't been as impactful. Also started the season out with injuries, so you haven't seen a whole lot of Jalen Warren, but you will. But you will, because he is definitely that guy that comes in when we really need someone to protect the quarterback on those third downs, and then you never know, he might get it done. You never know. So Kadar Patterson will be coming back. If anyone saw him, what game was that? Was that the Colts game? That was the Colts game. That man got the rock and literally was just running through people. So for me, I was like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. And then he got hurt and we never saw him again. So as soon as Cordell Patterson got going, I was like, it literally ignited our offense. So that's why I'm also saying the sky is the limit for this offense, because we still haven't seen it. We haven't even seen it at its best. We haven't been fully loaded. We've suffered injury after injury, and I know every team has had injuries, but this team, their potential is still yet to be found, especially with Russell Wilson. So I don't. I hear you, and you have on tape with Austin Eckler in the passing game and Robinson. I hear you, good, but I feel like this running back room is not going to be top rated so high just because they collectively haven't been able to play together. So, um, I
We'll
I gotta stick with
see.
my guys. I gotta stick with my guys. I gotta stick with them. I'm gonna stick beside. And yes, this is the Allen Iverson jersey. I just had to wear it. Sorry, someone's asking. But yeah, so I'm gonna stick with our running back room. But guess what? There's another group on this team that is extremely similar in its special teams.
Yep.
In
Yep.
one department at least. I don't know about all the extra stuff because special teams for us we do a little extra. But the kickers right here. Please tell us about your kicker. I would love to
Kicker
hear
is
more.
Cybert. We kind of didn't really know exactly who our kicker was going to be in the offseason. We had somebody, then we got rid of them, and we brought in Cybert, who has been absolutely phenomenal. I did see recently that he was dealing with a injury. I don't know what the update with his injury is, but he has been on point. Correct. I think he maybe had missed one last game, but he has been phenomenal with his accuracy.
Yeah.
So I'm very happy with him. He's been performing really well. Very happy that we got him, and he's been just doing an amazing job with extra points, with field goals, and just coming in the clutch when we need him. Because there were a couple games where we lived and died on Cybert. He was the only person who scored all game, and so in these
Yeah,
games
the,
where
the Bears game, minus the Hail Mary.
and the Bears game, yes,
Yeah.
exactly. So very happy with him. Our special teams has been doing great in that department. So that's our kicker, and I'm gonna stick beside him.
Like Poseidon, girl. Yeah, so here are the numbers. 97 points by the Commanders kicker. 97 points, y'all. 25 field
That's
goals,
crazy.
22, 22 extra points. Um, 85 for the Pittsburgh Steelers. So, like, when I tell you these teams are not far apart, they are not far apart. 85,
Yeah, so
23 field
similar.
goals by Chris Boswell, 16 extra points. The differences is the 50 plus. So beyond 50, your guy is 1 in 3. So he's missed 2. Beyond 50. Everything else, great, perfect. Chris Boswell beyond 50 is 6 of 7. So that is the difference there with just the kickers alone. Um, but our special team has also been making some substantial plays. We have a punt. We have a punt return. Calvin Austin had his
Yep.
first. We had blocked extra point. We had block extra points or block. We had a block field goal.
Yes.
We've had some phenomenal. We had block punts. We've had phenomenal special teams play. And I think that'll also be the difference. Special teams.
I'm very curious to see how many of those 750 plus field goals that your kicker kicked came under Justin Fields and how many of those came under Russell Wilson, because I think we haven't attempted many 50 plus because we have been getting touchdowns. When we get close to our end zone, we get touchdowns.
Oh
And I know
yeah.
Russell Wilson has had a really good last 2 games. So I wonder if he's had to, get points on the board if the offense wasn't looking as good under Justin Fields and you guys were just trying to get points while y'all were down there. But you're running into a third and or a fourth in whatever situation and you just want to get points up, taking advantage of that versus the Commanders, who generally do really well on third down conversions. I think are 100% on the season on fourth
Mm.
down conversions. So we end up taking a chance and not really needing to have our kicker and our special teams come out there because we into the end zone.
Yeah, it's great. I mean, I think Chris Boswell. I know the Atlanta game. All of what the 18 points that we had were from him. Um,
Yeah.
they didn't all come from Justin Fields. Y'all, I'm not gonna let y'all tell that lie. Because last game, excuse me, we weren't able to get in the end zone as often as we wanted. So Chris Boswell had some field goals in that game against the Giants when they should have been touchdowns. So I can't. Yes, a lot of them came from Justin, and naturally, when you play 6 games that's gonna be it's gonna be 6-2
Yep.
games. Like that's what it's gonna be. Like if it didn't, I'd be surprised if all his most of
Yes.
his freaking 85 points came in 2 games. That would be wild. So
Right.
that's just what it is. But the 50 pluses, I feel like he hit some 50 pluses indoors in Atlanta too. But I mean, he's just comfortable. I think one of the bigger 50 plus ones that the one he missed was like, I think it was against the Chargers game like we were going into halftime, like they weren't gonna get the ball back. So they was like, all right, go ahead and go for it. I don't know if it was like a 56 or something like that. And he went for it and he missed it. So I think it's, they trust him. He has the numbers to prove that he's been accurate. And I'm glad he's on my team because I've seen these kicker problems in this league. Like, I'm glad I don't have
Child.
a
Oh
kicker
my God.
problem.
I
I'll
cannot
be like,
relate.
oh, your kicker missed? I'm sorry. Sorry to see
Hmm.
that. I'm sorry. Look, we'll take the ball.
Yeah,
We'll
we'll
take the ball
take
right
it.
here. Thank you. Uh, how's your punter?
Like our special teams is straight. Our punter's good. Our long snapper good. Our
Mhm.
we're straight. I like everybody. We good. The
Yeah.
only room that I really feel like I have concerns about was the secondary, and with the addition of Lattimore, hopefully those worries are eased a little bit more. But our special teams is, like you said, very cool, very similar.
And we get Cam Sutton back in our secondary. I feel like I didn't talk about the defense enough. But secondary, Cam Sutton will be back. I don't know how many snaps he's gonna play. He's just came off of a 8 game suspension. But he also can play anywhere. He's not just in one area. I think they had him playing corner in Detroit. We put him all over the place. Safety, corner, whatever. Wherever they need help, he'll be. So I'm curious to see how he plays out there and how much film he's been watching. I think the team that watches the most film and can execute off of what they see on that film is gonna win this game. Well,
Yeah,
what's defense
definitely.
anyway? Yeah.
Yep, definitely got to prepare for sure. Jaden uses that like AI technology where he has like the visual, he kind of
Mm-hmm.
goes through his reps instead of like actual physical. All right, actual physical reps, he kind of has that technology that helps him. But, film definitely prepared as possible for sure.
Okay, we have another question. They want me to ask you about Jaden Daniels. You just brought him up, so I guess it's
Okay.
a good segue. Jaden Daniels and the rookie wall. Like, is he going to hit some sort of rookie wall here? What's your thoughts on that?
I don't know, maybe. I mean, this is so I was nervous when we were playing the Ravens because I
Mhm.
think the Ravens were the best team we had seen thus far in the season. So now that I kind of got that like, whew, good team jitters out, it's like, okay, we competed against a good team. And now we face the Steelers. I'm not as nervous. I'm more excited against another team. And like I've been
Mhm.
saying, like with with our season in general, and I know a lot of people are super hyped because we're 7-2 and we're looking amazing, but I am more of a pragmatic fan where it's like this 7-2 is great and I love it.
Yeah.
But my expectations for the season are the same as they were in the beginning. Can we be competitive against good teams? If we are and we're losing, I'll take it because we are very much rebuilding, restructuring, whatever synonym you want to
Yep.
use for it, our team. So will he run into a rookie wall? Sure, maybe. I mean, the Steelers are a good team. I wouldn't be surprised if this was a game where he did. He has proven himself to be able to be flexible, and our offensive coordinator, Cliff Kingsbury, is able to scheme him up in different ways if he is running into a wall. So maybe for sure. I really wouldn't be surprised.
That Cliff Kingsbury man, he's been so creative, so creative with your offense, and I have to give him, his flowers. I'll give him more after 4 p.m. Um, not too much, not too much today. Um, but I am definitely happy for his success and Jaden's success as well. Like we saw Jaden before he got drafted and after he got drafted, and just extremely happy for the young man and his family. And um, I love seeing what's happening with him. So I don't wish him to hit a rookie wall. Like I hope he exceeds everyone's expectation. I hope he walks away with the rookie of the year, offensive rookie of the
Yeah,
year
same.
award.
something about his first interception that also made me feel like, whew, okay, he got that out. Like, of course, you don't want to see it, but something about him getting that first interception out, and maybe even after that, I felt like he was playing more loose. Like, if he does hit a wall, if he does make mistakes, if he does turn the ball over, just knowing that it's normal, it's how you can get back in there and adjust, either in game or in week 11. I just want to see those adjustments because that's important too. All teams,
Yeah.
from the Chiefs to the Panthers, run into something, run into a team, run into a wall in some regard. The important thing is like, let me see how you adjust both in game and if we do see it, it would be a lot of value as long as, they're showing us that they're able to make those corrections and show how they come back after that.
Yeah. And it sounds so crazy, but that's how I feel about Russell. Because our team for the last couple of years lacked some leadership. And for him to be able to come in and be young and lead this team, and probably a team that just hadn't, the people that had been there just hadn't been hopeful, hadn't had a lot of light and joy. Um, it looks amazing. And I see it with the Steelers. Russell Wilson and Justin, like they have brought some light and love into this organization. And it comes with winning. And yeah, like you could say we were winning games, but I feel like we weren't winning games in a way that we should have been winning games. We should have been getting in the end zone more. We should have been getting over 20 points. And 20 is a big number here. We're going to talk about that. Don't let me not talk about that. But we should have been able to do that more consistently in the last couple of years. But we lack the leadership. We lack the love that they have and the joy that they have right now. And I know Russell, contributes to that a lot. And it's almost like, having a dad as the QB versus, your brother. And yeah, they call themselves brothers, but to me, it's just the wisdom. And I feel like our defense needed that. Our defense needed to know that the offense is good. It has some type of leadership, some mature individual over there to guide these young boys because we got stuff to do over here. We gotta work with these young kids over here. We can't be worried about y'all when all the time. We gonna get y'all the ball back. What you gonna do with it? And I think that's one of the reasons why
Right.
Coach Tomlin was like, okay, Russell, it's your turn now. Get it done. Because
So are you
those
saying that Kenny Pickett and Mason Rudolph weren't lords of light, love, and leadership? Is that
I'm saying I'm just saying there were some attributes that were missing. When Ben Roethlisberger walked
sure?
out that door, he walked out with a lot. And Mason
Yeah.
Rudolph, yes, he was there, but was he there as the ultimate leader? Was he there? Did he have the pull to be like, this is what I'm seeing, let's play this, let's do that? And I'm not just saying it's just solely on the quarterback. You have to thinking about the offensive coordinator too and all the troubles there. Like when you're new or you're trying to thrive for the job, when you don't have that confidence, like I've been here, I've done that. I know what is going on. I've won Super Bowls. I've been in the playoffs. I won playoff games. You can be like, we need to do this. But you may not have that confidence and courage as a second year or the guy that really, really wants coach to like me so I can get the job and I need to be good. I need to be a good boy.
Yeah.
So I feel like Russell's like, look, I can bring this to the team. I have all this knowledge. I see what this is on tape. I can show you and I can teach you these things. And if the defense players called Russell like, hey, do you want to win? Like, what's your attitude? Like, we need somebody that can come in here and win, and you got to have that attitude. And so that to me is telling of what they saw and what they thought they needed, and then seeing what it looks like on the field. He brought that. He brings that.
So I
So
guess I
yeah,
have
I
a
mean,
very similar question, and
mhm.
that someone had about Jaden Daniels about Russell Wilson. Like we've seen Russell Wilson reach the mountaintop, win a Super Bowl with this, show that he's a really good quarterback. But we've also seen some of his valleys. We've seen peaks and valleys with him on the Seahawks and the Broncos. And so, do you feel like there will be a point in this season where he hits a wall and that he's kind of struggling with whatever he struggles with? And if so, do you think that it'll be a detriment to your offense, or do you think you got that you can keep winning games and making it far in the playoffs?
I think that every quarterback in this league, again, it's one of the any given Sundays. I think you can have a bad game. I just think
Yeah.
it can be your day, and it's not all your fault. Like we saw. the second series when Russ came out and he was rusty, like he just didn't look good. But then I had to remind people like that man ain't played football since December 24th of 2023. Like started in a football game, led his football team since December. Like I feel like you're allowed, like give this man some grace. We're not playing Madden. This isn't, this is real life. This is real game speed. So any given Sunday, the defense could be having a day, and
Yeah.
I think that that should be accepted. But it's not going to be because we're just we have impatient people. No one has patience. Everyone is impatient. Everyone wants every time the ball's in your hands, you need to score 7 points. When it's all said and done, and we know the reality is it doesn't always happen like that. But yes, I
Right.
do think they're gonna be quarters where he struggles. It might be a whole entire game. It might be just a series. Yes, I'm not gonna sit there and be like, no, he ain't gonna struggle. He's gonna be great. Like, no, everybody's gonna struggle. We see
Yeah.
Broderick Jones on a consistent basis. Up and down struggle. Whether it's just him not trusting himself or overthinking or not doing too much just to get the pressure off his quarterback, whatever it is, everyone has a moment or a quarter or a series or a day. It just happens.
And
So
we saw Mike Tomlin in the game. I guess it was before your bye when I think Russell Wilson had a really good throw and he kind of looked at the things like core turned back and put a thumbs up. So clearly, I feel like Russell Wilson in the way that he's been playing. So that's a good sign.
yes, yes, and like I said, he just brings so much, and you saw it, and it's slowly opening up. It's slowly the playbook slowly opening up, and you have that run game attribute, you have that passing game attribute. You got that big man named Darnell Washington, who I love. Who I just want to see catch more balls. I don't know if you have anybody that's going to guard him. I don't know if you have somebody that
We'll
can
find
go
out.
toe to toe with Darnell Washington. So we'll see. Hopefully he gets in the end zone. I want to see him with the ball in his hands. I want to talk about your stadium. Formerly FedEx. Now it's Northwest, right? Northwest Stadium.
Yep.
Have
Yep.
you been in there? Have you checked it out? What's different?
I have been in there from what I've seen from my short time in there. It's not, it's nothing too different. Like I
Oh,
know in one of the weeks ago, a cable, I think it was the Bears game, actually. I could be wrong, but I think it was the Bears game where a cable fell on somebody and there was like a section of people like holding the cable. So it's hard. What I will say is that I know that I've heard people talk about how it's hard to make these large ones during obviously during the season, so you have to wait for the off season. Um, so we'll see if they actually do anything, if there are any plans in the work for renovating this stadium, or if they're just going to leave it as is and try to get another stadium. I don't know. It's Northwest now, but it's looking FedEx 2.0 as far as them not really having these like huge.
someone, well, I think I was on the pod. I don't know where I was. Maybe a podcast. They were saying that they have cell phone holders now. I was like, oh, okay, that's nice. The bathrooms have been I don't know, redone or repainted or something. I don't know. I said, "Oh, that's nice. I'll let you know how that goes." But I was just curious to see if there were any significant notice changes with the name change. So they're gonna be giving out
Now,
towels.
from some, they are going to be giving out towels. I will say that as far as the stadium goes, like having been to a few different NFL stadiums, done in Northwest Stadium, like I said, are not significant enough to be like brand new stadium, brand new experience. Like I personally don't really. I didn't think FedEx was that bad. Maybe it's my bias. Like I just, it's fine for watching a football game. I don't need to be in, a palace to watch a football game. Like
Yeah.
I'm watching the game. I don't need to stay at all. But compared to other stadiums, it's still very much FedEx Field.
Look, the Pittsburgh Steelers Stadium is like it's nice. Like I like the aura of being aura of in it and being in there and seeing all the yellow seats and when the lights hit it at night, it's beautiful. But it's not like state of the art. Nothing like nothing Pittsburgh has is state of the art. It's very basic to me. There's no it's not Mercedes Benz, it's not Allegiant, it's none of those things. So I hear you. I understand. I love our stadium just because it is what it is. So I get what you're saying. And I
Yeah.
don't I don't. It'll be a long time before Pittsburgh puts state of the art anything um, in that city. So,
Yeah.
so I get it. But you
But
got
like
some
you
new
said,
owners.
they are doing. Yeah, we do, and I think that I have full trust in them that they'll figure out a good situation for our home stadium. But like you said, you guys fans, Steelers fans, tend to travel very, very well. We've seen that week after week after week, and when y'all travel, y'all bring that little washcloth with y'all
Oh, don't
to
do that. Don't do
fling
that.
in the
Cause
air. Yeah, y'all
mm-mm.
bring
Look.
that little
I was about to
handkerchief
go pull
that the
one out. I'm not
pastors
gonna
be
do it.
using to bot y'all forehead. Y'all be using that little pad
They trying to
twist
compete.
around your head like it's spinning around like a helicopter.
They trying
So
to
with
compete.
that,
But you can't compete where
so
you
what
don't
Brian?
compare. That little towel, that little 5x7 towel, y'all gonna have out there. You cannot compete where you do not compare. Sorry.
Yeah. So because it's yellow, said they're gonna be handing out those burgundy towels for fans to wave around. So the stadium is gonna look burgundy and gold, and we also have black in our uniform. So there's pretty much nothing
They
in y'all
try to get some
uniforms that
uniforms
we
like
don't
these,
have color
y'all. They
scheme as
try to get
ours.
some.
Oh, and don't
Yeah, it's
like
okay. Look,
and nobody
I
else in the
like
league that
those.
have the
I like them.
burgundy.
I even love your hashtag. I love Raise Hell. I can't wait for it. We're here. We go to Raise Hell. I can't wait for that on Sunday.
Here we go to raise hell. How do you
Here
feel
we
about
go.
Dak Prescott with the here we go? Did you feel a certain type of way when he does that?
No, I don't even. I didn't. I didn't even.
I was
That it
like,
wasn't even in my memory.
yeah,
No,
when one
no
of
idea
his like
he did that.
with his like count cadence, he'll kind of be like, here we go, and then he'll get the ball. But anyway,
Oh,
so we'll
I
see how
have
them.
heard that. I got. Yeah, that don't bother me. I don't care.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
We'll see how them terrible towels gonna
we
be
won't
slinging
hear it for
the
a while,
stadium and how.
unfortunately.
Yeah,
'Cause
yeah, very unfortunate. Actually, I hate injuries. Like I don't care who
yeah.
it is. I hate injuries.
And hopefully we'll be injury free this game. I just want everybody to be come out healthy and uh and have fun, man. You guys, your team looks like they're having fun right now. Especially that offense. Look like they have Terry's like, I'm alive again. It's like a
Yeah,
whole
he's like
different man.
finally.
hmm
It
And
is.
so
It's just like you can clearly see how he looks way different with a different coordinator, with a different quarterback, with other people around him. Like happy that he stuck it out and has been a leader on this team. So now he can finally talk his shit. He hasn't really been able to like trash talk. I mean, he always has, but he hasn't been able to like do it the way that he wants to because he's been on a really bad team. But now that, starting to get better, he can really, talk his talk on the field and show who
mhm,
he really is with a good quarterback. So
I feel you. I was gonna ask you a prediction. I don't typically give my prediction for score. But here's the key. 20 points. Steelers opponents, their two L's have come to teams that they allowed to score 20 points or more. So the 20 points is the key. You have to keep you guys within a certain amount, and we have to score more. So, um, what do you think the key to victory is for you guys?
again, scoring early and often, making sure that we take advantage of that first half. If you guys play the way take advantage of that first half, get on the board as much as you can and as quickly as you can. I also think we need to protect the ball and play disciplined football and not give any room for the Steelers to capitalize on our mistakes. Make the Steelers win the game and not lose the game and not have
Yep.
us lose the game. Penalties backing us up or calling touchdowns back. If we do see anything that's not working, adjust. I think our coaches are good at adjusting. And well, last game, Cliff Kingsbury did piss me off. I didn't like the way that he was calling that game, but just making sure that we're playing, calling the right plays. So scoring early and often and protecting the ball, I think, and just that second half and just showing up and showing us who we really are. Show us what this commander's identity is against good teams. That's what I want to see. Who are you when the
hmm
team against you is really, really good? It's nice to beat the Cardinals. It's nice to beat the Giants and sweep the Giants. I love that. How are we gonna act against these Steelers? That's what I want to see.
Yeah. And like we struggled against the Giants, and like the Giants, their record isn't what they put out on the field. So they
I
have
like
a
their
good
defense.
yeah, they have a good defense. And Daniel, they were shooting themselves in the foot. They they could have scored more points if they just weren't they were better disciplined. But anyway, I want to give you some time. There are some people here that are familiar, very familiar with you. There are some that are not. So please, please, please tell everybody where they can find you on socials because she's everywhere. But I just want you to, let the people know.
Thank you. So you can find me pretty much everywhere at all 32 NFL. So it's all 32 NFL. That's on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, YouTube. Pretty sure it's just those four. And then if you watch the podcast, it is what it is. I am weekly on It Is What It Is morning. If you want a recap of the Monday night football game and then some of the Sunday games, I'm on It Is What It Is every Tuesday morning at 8 o'clock. That's on Instagram and YouTube. So yeah.
So make sure all 32 NFL, right? What is all 30?
Yes.
All 32 NFL. Make sure you are following, you're locked in, and also follow the Is What It Is podcast. They are freaking hilarious. I don't know how they get through the show without like dying every day. So shout out to them because they are hilarious. And
Insane.
anyway, and both teams after this, by the way, have to play divisional opponents next. You have a short week Thursday game against the Eagles, and the Pittsburgh Steelers go back home to play the Baltimore Ravens. So
is this Ravens game that you guys have? Is this your first division game?
That's our first division game. First division game,
Okay.
and we have division games like subsequent, like back to back to back after that. So we play them.
Okay.
I think we play the Browns and the Bengals. Like we're just loaded. This second half of the season for us is just loaded with opponents.
Yeah, our teams are so similar and so different, so many different ways because we also have only seen the Giants, so we have a very heavy second half as far as like seeing our division with the Cowboys and the Eagles, and they're coming up pretty soon. And this is the last thing I'm going to say too. With the stakes for both of us is about the same. We're both number one in our divisions. Our divisions are very similar as far as like number two goes, and they're not too far away. And there is that number one, number two, competition in our division. And then at 3 and 4, not so much with the Cowboys and the Giants for us right now. And then with you guys, the Bengals and the Browns are kind of just like in that area. But the stakes for us are very similar. Our division looks very similar. Be very, very interesting Sunday. I'm very much looking forward to it.
The numbers aren't lying. Like this is a matchup that I don't think people are realizing how close it is. So it's gonna be telling. I think you're gonna find out a lot about each these teams post this game. So one, I want to thank you. We've been on here for a good little minute. Thank you to everybody in the comments. Love y'all. We appreciate y'all, and we'll see. We'll have to revisit this and follow up and see how you felt about how they played.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it. This was great, and it was only right. Like it was only right. We had to.
It was refreshing. It's so refreshing. It was like not that my fellas that I do podcasts with is nothing. It's just different. It's just different with us. I don't know. It was so refreshing. Yeah. But thank you, y'all. Okay. Y'all have a wonderful evening. I'm gonna watch the Bengals beat the Ravens. Good night.
I'm gonna watch the Ravens beat the Bengals. Good night. Yeah.